Steph Curry recently scored his career-high 62 points. It was a great night for him and the Warriors fans, but that got me thinking, what are career highs for other NBA superstars now and in the past? Looking through the history of the NBA, I found out that some of the all-time best scorers didn't exactly have that one great scoring game. So buckle up, this is Purple Prince, and these NBA career highs in points will shock you. I won't mention some records everyone knows, like the highest scoring game ever by a player, which we know is Will Chamberlain's 100 points. Okay, I just mentioned it, but you get the point. Since I started this video mentioning Stephen Curry, I started my research by looking up what's the career high for his dad, Del Curry. Now, obviously Del was never known as this great scorer, so his career high is a mere 38 points. He accomplished that feat back when he was playing for Charlotte in a game against Toronto Raptors in 1996. The first shock, 38 points is also a career high for the Hall of Famer James Worthy, who was much more known as a scorer when compared to Del Curry. Worthy actually scored 38 points 2 times, last time doing that against the Sacramento Kings in 1989. You would figure for a well-known scorer like him, he would have at least one game over 40 points, but that's just not the case. When looking at scoring records, you obviously also have to look at the all-time leading scorer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. His career high was recorded way back in 1971, when he was still a member of the Milwaukee Bucks roster. Kareem scored 55 points in a game against the Boston Celtics. Sounds impressive, but that doesn't even rank in the top 50 of the highest scoring games. The number 2 player on the all-time scoring leaders list, Karl Malone, once scored 61 points. That happened in a game against the Milwaukee Bucks back in 1990. Actually, 61 points is a career high for a few modern-day superstars. LeBron James, Damian Lillard, James Harden, and Shaquille O'Neal all have recorded that type of game. Carmelo Anthony had an even better performance. Back in 2014, he scored 62 points in a game against the Hornets. So did Tracy McGrady, with his 62 points back in 2004 against the Washington Wizards. There are some more notable names in the 60-point club. Larry Bird and Kemba Walker both have a career high of 60 points. George Gervin once scored 63 points in a 1978 game against the Utah Jazz. The most recent highest scoring game was registered from Devin Booker, who poured in 70 points in a game against the Boston Celtics in 2017. Okay, but let's mix it up and get to some really weird stuff. Do you remember a player named Purvis Short? He was a good scorer back in the 1980s, but for his career, he averaged 17.3 points, which isn't anything extraordinary. He was super special for one game though. Back in 1984, in a game against the Nets, he scored 59 points. Yes, 59. That's more than Kareem, Giannis, and even Kevin Durant, whose career high is just 54 points. You would think that KD has at least one 60-point game, but no, not even close. And just to underline how shocking were those 59 points by Purvis Short, his career high in the playoffs is 32 points, so quite a big gap there. Hey, but you know who hasn't had even one 50-point game in his career? Kawhi Leonard. His career high is 45 points, a feat he accomplished back in 2019, when he was a Raptor in a game against the Utah Jazz. His partner in crime on the Clippers, Paul George, for example, has once scored 48 points, also in a game against the Utah Jazz, but back in 2015 as a member of Indiana Pacers. Kawhi's ex-teammate and Spurs legend Manu Ginobili also once scored 48 points, way back in 2005 in a game against the Suns. Shockingly, Charlie Villanueva had his best career game when he scored 48 points against the Bucks in 2006. So a career 10.4 points per game scorer has had a higher scoring game than Kawhi Leonard. Funny how life works out sometimes. Let's return back to 45 points though, because that's also the career high for Julius Erving. Yup, Dr. J, a guy who averaged 24.2 points for his career, never had a game where he scored more than 45 points. Neither did Dwight Howard, whose career high is also 45 points, and he accomplished that feat on 2 occasions. He did have a 46-point game in the playoffs, back in 2011. 46 points in the regular season is the career high for 2 Hall of Fame point guards, Magic Johnson and Bob Cousy. Neither was known as a super high scoring guard, but on that one particular game, they scored in bunches. That's all good and great. Hall of Famers and legends are supposed to have that one great scoring game. But how about this one? Corey Brewer, 51 points. A guy whose career average is 8.7 points per game and has never averaged more than 13 points per game for a season. He scored 51 points against the Rockets back in 2014. Andre Miller, a pure pass-first point guard, 52 points in a game against Mavericks back in 2010. 52 goddamn points. That's the career high so far for Giannis Antetokounmpo, DeMar DeRozan, Jamal Crawford, and, drumroll please, Mo Williams. Yep, not that long ago in 2015, Mo Williams had a 52-point explosion against the Indiana Pacers, and the next year, he was out of the league. Okay, let's up the ante. Tony Delk. Do you even know who he is? Well, I sure didn't know who he is. After all, judging by his career, he's just another guy. He never was a full-time starter, has played for 8 teams, he holds a career average of 9.1 points per game, but somehow, someway, he managed to score 53 points against the Kings in 2001. Another shocker is Willie Burton, a career 42% shooter from the field and 10.3 points per game career scorer, managed to score 53 points against the Miami Heat in 1994. His playoff career high in the same season? 2 points. Wow. Okay, let's look at the 50-point club. Some good names here: Blake Griffin, Lou Williams, CJ McCollum, Alonzo Mourning, Clyde Drexler, Trae Young, and some unexpected names to say the least, such as Tracy Murray, a player who started just 80 out of his 659 NBA games and once scored 50 points against the Golden State Warriors in 1998. And he's also joined by Walt Wesley, a center from the 1960s who averaged double-digit points in just 2 of his 10 seasons in the league. He had his 50-point game in 1971 against the Cincinnati Royals. And how about Terrence Ross? He's one of the best bench players now, but back in 2014, he was averaging just 9.4 points before exploding for 51 points against the LA Clippers. He connected on 10 3-pointers and scored his 51 on just 29 field goal attempts. Pretty amazing. From today's superstars, back in his triple-double season, Russell Westbrook scored a career-high 58 points against the Trailblazers. LeBron James' new co-superstar Anthony Davis has a career-high of 59 points against the Detroit Pistons in 2016. And to finish off this on a high note, Brandon Jennings. Back in 2009, in just his 7th career game, Jennings scored 55 points. It's not just what he did, it's how he did it. He didn't register a point in the first quarter and was 0 for 3 from the field. He scored 10 points in the second and made 4 out of 10 field goals, and then he exploded in the third quarter, making 12 out of 13 field goals and scored 29 points. 39 points is good enough for a rookie in his 7th game, but he added 16 more points in the final quarter, making it a total of 55 points. That's more than Durant, Kawhi, and other NBA superstars. Pretty amazing. Okay, I think that's about enough for this one. I definitely couldn't have mentioned every shocking career high in points, so please tell me in the comments who's that one superstar who's yet to have that type of game. Which player has had the most unexpected scoring outburst in your opinion? Don't forget to leave a like for the video and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel for more basketball content going forward. Thanks. I hope to see you soon. This is Purple Prince, and I'm out.